Hello?
Hello?
We're here. It is
Have
us.
arrived.
I forgot to open something again. Immediately open with a blank screen. Let's get file open. The old stream.
Professionals.
Da da da. There we go.
I need to mute. I say the roll 20. Fuck me.
We're starting strong.
No thoughts.
No thoughts, head empty.
Cool.
Hello. Oh, that game.
I was like, that's worrying. I can't hear anything, and I had Twitch muted, like the whole of the site Twitch.
Oh. Yeah, that would do it.
Check the volume because I've got like a much cooler setup, but I'm still running it off of a shitty little laptop that does not want to run anything.
If both of us are fine, then that's cool because the music is its own thing. It's when it's like, oh, you're really quiet, and I'm like, I cannot change my voice, so I have to change everything else in comparison.
Yeah.
Doesn't help that the current track is a Minecraft one, which are notoriously quiet.
Hmm. So I'm gonna refresh. Behave, chat. What to listen to? I'm very like all over the place today in terms of like what I want to do. Even like music wise, I get like 20 seconds into a song, I'm like, different song time.
Nah.
So that's the headspace I'm in, which means I probably won't get much done, but we're gonna try.
Okay. Right, I don't need to engage my brain just yet because I can just crack on with warm up before I stress about thinking about things.
I think I know what I want to do for warm up. It might end up being what I do, so I'm just gonna lean into that energy. Ooh, Twitch does not want me to open it. I might just have to have chat open separately.
Yeah, do that.
Because it doesn't want to load anything but chat.
Well, you're on uni internet as well, so it's like having less stuff is probably beneficial.
I think this is more of a laptop problem than a internet connection problem. Up on Twitch loading that, and then it loaded an ad that was very loud.
Thanks, Twitch.
You got options, Das.
You got options, yeah.
So options, what to draw today?
Do what I'm doing. Just do warm up first, and then you ain't got to worry about thinking. And then once you're warmed up, then you can think about what you want to do. Yeah. just do scribbles and circles to warm yourself up first.
Looking over on the screen, there's actually nothing on it. There we go. Thank you, Twitch. Okay, I don't need you to actually play the stream, I just need my whole mod setup to be open. Thank you. There we go. I'm gonna do a super quick brain warm up. Actually, like 2-minute long brain warm up. Once again, where is my warm-up folder? There it is.
So how goes the first few days?
The first few days of living out here?
Mm-hmm.
Or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone alright. Nothing's really changed, I just am in a different place. I still have the same job, still do the same stuff. Changed. Moving was okay. Went pretty smoothly. I have been in pain for the last few days because I have not done that much physical exercise since I got really sick. Since I got really sick last year, so my body is not capable of doing things that it used to be doing, and I'm not. It's a bit better today. Today's the first day where I've not been like hurting everywhere, which is nice. But yeah, to be honest, it's been pretty normal. My roommates seem okay. Everything seems good. A couple people are still up here who I thought were gone.
Hey, that's good.
Which is really nice.
Got some friends to hang out with.
Do I have some friends that are on my course too?
Dope.
I didn't think would happen. Yeah. Anyone in chat is not a friend of mine. I moved house. This is not where I normally am. Yeah. Everything went good. And I can still play Final Fantasy without it lagging too much, so...
Heck yes.
That's a win. Yeah, the internet seems completely fine, apart from on Cecilia. So, I don't know what it is up this laptop that makes it want to disconnect all the time, but it just does. Everything else is completely fine.
It's probably just because it's getting a little old.
Oh, she didn't mean it, Cecilia. Shh, it's okay. It's okay. No, you're nearly 10 years old, and that's a lot. Shh, it's okay. She didn't mean it. Please don't break.
To be fair, I seem to recall.
Look at what you've done, Blue. Now it won't load anything.
I seem to recall in my last year that there were talks about like the internet being upgraded.
Yeah, the internet here's always been fine. This is the same one I had in my last year.
I think it's because it's the first thing that students complain about all the time. Is the internet. So I feel like the uni has kind of started being like, okay, we're going to try to keep the internet good.
Well, this one's private, so you know. My Millennium Falcon of a laptop. You're so right. So right. Just gently patting. You can't see it because it's off camera, but I'm just gently patting my poor laptop. It's done a great deal. This coffee's gone cold, but I refuse to admit it. I'm going to do the quickest warm-up I know, which is just write a paragraph where every sentence starts with the following letter of the alphabet.
Right.
You might notice I'm looking at different things. I've actually got my dock on big screen. I'm not sharing it with Twitch chat.
Yeah.
Chat, you've got your own screen today. My dock's got their own screen. So I can actually differentiate. Yeah. Having a desk that can fit 3 screens on it.
Even I haven't got 3 screens.
Screens. One of them's a tiny little Chromebook that I'm just running Discord through. Right. And even then I'm having to run it in browser because it doesn't download things because it's a Chromebook.
Right.
It feels bougie as hell.
So my setup for like everything is always just having like whatever I'm actively doing big on the primary screen, and then cram everything else onto the secondary.
The tiny screen.
So when I'm streaming, my secondary screen is ridiculous.
Hell.
It is hell. Like,
Spotify, Discord.
It looks neat because of how I've set it up, because I'm able to have like the game or the camera or whatever be the big thing, and then everybody's face cams is like all organised.
I've got to get my dice. Wait, actually, I think I do have some at hand. Oh.
Because annoyingly, when streaming, it gets unhappy if things are minimised. So everything has to be open.
Where the fuck did those dice go? Oh, they're on the other side of the room. I've got to get my chest of dice. 1 sec. I knocked like 8 things off my shelf. The box. Where can the box go? The box can go here. Please don't all fall out when I open this. Apparently after I moved out, my dad immediately found like 8 dice in the house.
Your legacy.
Like, when I come up and see you next week, I'm bringing them with me. So he's just gonna come up to me at graduation and hand me 8 deep dice that I'm gonna have to stow away somewhere. What a forward ass.
I so want you to be like walking on stage and then like a D20 flops out. It just flops out while you're on stage. Everyone's just looking at it.
What did she get?
What was it? It was an 18. Ah! Bodes well.
It's a good graduation.
Hey, Stanchi here with the full health check.
Roll for graduation. What happens if I roll a 1 on my graduation?
You don't.
You die. I thought you said you die. What happens if you rolled a 1 on your graduation? You fucking die, dude.
Every option is dead.
Too real. This joke's no longer funny.
Cut it down, cut it down.
I think I'm doing this because I really can't think of anything. Oop, someone's at my door. 1 second.
Ooh. Aw, I thought we were going to get to see new roommates. I am the gateway friend. If you are friends with me, it is a gateway to more friends. Hello, frog. Yawning at the start, that's always good. Circles. Circles done. Warm-up lines. Hello? Oh, goodbye. Where did she go? Did she have something to eat? looks like it's just gonna be me for a bit, guys. Cuz will be back soon, don't you worry. In her own words, the universe has fantastic timing. But she is here in spirit.
She has a dodgy spirit. I know your two spirit animals. Dodgy as fuck. Sadie's my spirit animal.
So today, at work, we briefly mentioned the Netflix series called Sweet Tooth. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of it or have started watching it. I've started watching it, as has Lucy and Roxy, and we were basically saying to AJ and her mama, like, oh, you should watch it because it's good. Which inevitably led to the topic of what animal would you be hybridized with, which was very funny for me because of course it was Lucy who said, what animal would you be, not including you, Blue? And I was like, what? And she was like, everyone knows what your answer is. And I was like, okay, but you don't have to disinclude me from the conversation. No, it was very funny. I laughed a lot because yes, everybody does know what I would go for. I've only watched one episode. I did not know it was a book, or is it a comic? I only know of it from Netflix. My parents recommended it to me because they thought I would like it, so I watched the first episode and I did quite like it. The start kind of got me a bit, because that's a little close. But when once it kind of got past that, I was like, okay. Okay. My hair up 'cause it's annoying me. Progress. There we go. Look at them. So cool. Nice. I love them so much. ever write about the things I talked to you about, Curls? Did you ever write it? Well, we know how it goes. We know how it goes when you want to do something. That's those done. So, it's Pokemon time. Random Pokemon. A Ducklett. Oh no, really? What is he doing? Is he like replacing a light or something? How'd it
very
go?
quick for what he was fixing.
Yeah, when you told me, when you said what it was, I was like, oh, it might be a while.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I've been waiting all day for him to show up, and he was like, now is the time.
That's always how it be.
Yeah, but it's much better, and it doesn't sound like you can't hear it from the front door of the house anymore.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not kidding. It sounded like there was a hell portal in it.
Jesus.
It was loud.
Was it just like broken, or was there some stuff
There
in
was,
it?
I don't know, but it sounded like there was like rattling around in there. Either way, it's fixed now.
Fair.
Either, just spilled that on myself. Either the fan needed replacing, or there was something stuck in it. And now I'll never know.
I'm assuming that maybe something was stuck, because if the fan needed replacing, I feel like that's something that he would have had to come and check, and then he would have been like, oh, I gotta go get a part.
Gotta go back and get it. I don't know how common a problem it is around here. If it's a really common problem, then...
Yeah, I suppose there's that.
I do not know. I'm not dealing with this music right now. It's the bad things are happening music. It's like, nope, not right now. Right. Did actually make progress on my warm-up though.
Hey!
But yes, that is what I'm thinking of writing. I am thinking of writing the thing we talked about last week.
Yes.
I realised that I hadn't done it, and the knowledge that I haven't done it upsets me. It's sad, and therefore I have a predisposition to want to write it. I don't know what combination, because we came up with, there was like 2 different versions of it, and then within those 2 different versions are 2 variations.
Yes.
Like where people were and whose perspective it is.
Yes, we did think of that. I don't know. I mean, I feel like because you're writing it, you should pick the one that you prefer, or which
I like them all though.
I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe which one you think is the most canon. I guess the main decision.
Well, the thing is,
I guess the main decision you have to make if you write this is who is the Warrior of Light, because that is what changes the scenario.
Correct. Yes. So, because you drew post this Exa.
Post, yes, I did post this.
I could write that scene, but I feel like you did such a good job that I don't need to. That I kind of want to write the scene itself. Those of you who are in the know, how do I vague this? Come on, Mike and Aaron. Mike and Aaron's secret code language. How would we say this? Stormblood's Waking Sands.
Oof. Yeah.
Is what we're talking about. Oh god, yeah. The people who know.
If you know, you know.
Like they're both good. Both way rounds are good, and they're both sad in different ways. Because I'm probably gonna... I'm gonna get through warm up. I'm gonna think about this. Well, there's like a specific... The reason why this is a difficult decision is because if I do Extra as Warrior of Light, I get the joy of writing Iffy's perspective as a healer, and then there's 2 different versions of that scene that we came up with that combination of truths about where Iffy is and why she's there. But Iffy being the Warrior of Light is also very good, but for a different, sadder reason. You see the struggle?
Yeah.
I'm basically gonna write whoever's not Warrior of Light. reason why this even came up is because we realized that either way Iphignia would be there because she's a healer.
Yes.
And so she's either with Exa as her healer, or she's at this place before this happens and just happens to be there when it goes down. Because, like, trying to talk about this scene vaguely is very difficult. Part of why this scene is so good is because, much like the Waking Sands scene, it's unexpected. There's not like a team that's ready for it, you know? It's just whoever's there, who are not. Anyway, I'm going to do this as a warm-up before that. Okay, Taurian music just came on. Get out of there. I should listen to Stormblood music. I'm so excited for Soken to be my top artist of the year.
Yeah, that's not going to be a surprise.
No. Spellplay's been choosing ways to show me things recently that's like, why would you show it that way round? Stormblood part 1 of the Stormblood soundtrack has 105 songs on it.
Wow.
That. This is why Stoken has that world record. As background set dressing for a glamour shoot. The shame. Look, I got that one chest piece that everyone wants, and so I had to gloat about it. Looks very good, so I get it. You got the Atreus guy, right? Yeah, I got the I can't remember what it's actually called, but the dancer chest piece from Paglothan. Wait, I think I put a picture of it. Where are you? Don't tweet it. Ah, I tastefully censored this photo. Open image in new tab. Copy image address. Enjoy, chat. It's mostly tats. Looks very different on the male-female models. Very different, but both very good. It's not like some of them where like one of them is good and one of them is terrible. It's like, no, they both look very good, but for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Who's grooming today? Which Pokemon did you get, by the way?
Ducklett.
Ducklett?
Ducklett. Googles.
Oh!
Well, that answers the question as to how forgettable is Ducklett.
Oh, evolves to Swanna. Okay, I know Swanna. I know and like Swanna. I didn't know it had a pre-evolution though.
You didn't?
Oh. Thought Swanna one of those normal type Pokemon that had no before or after.
Well, you know, it's the whole
But
you
no.
know, ugly duckling, beautiful
Yeah.
swan thing.
Yeah. Gen 5 Pokemon? Oh, is it?
Pokemon Black and White.
Yeah, it's black and white, that's why I don't know. That's why I don't know it. There are so many Pokemon that I would be like, where the fuck did this come from? And just anyone who knows Pokemon name is like, that's a black and white Pokemon. I'm like, oh, that's why I don't know it. And also why it looks so fucking weird.
Yeah, they were trying a lot of new
Like-
things with Black and White.
Yeah. Okay, but like, a lot of Pokemon Black and White Pokemon look like cryptids, like, or like glitches. It's like, so stylistically different.
Some wonder if Game Freak was trying to give the series like a soft reset with Black and White, because it was like the first game in the entire franchise where they were like 150 totally new Pokemon. You cannot catch any from the previous generation until you get to post game. You have to have new Pokemon.
Which is why there's so many of them.
Yeah, and I guess why they took such a leap in a lot of the differences of the appearance. Also, the designers did say that they specifically wanted a lot of the Pokemon to look very varied, whereas after Black and White, they instead went with a lot of regions being themed, because up until that point the regions had all been some variant of Japan, basically. But then after Black and White, when X and Y became X and Y, it was like, oh, this is based off France, and then we had Hawaii, and then of course we had Galar, where it's like every single Pokemon is British in some way. Every single one. You research it, every single damn Pokemon in that Pokedex has ties to Britain. But Black and White, they were specifically, it was meant to be sort of like America / New York, which is very diverse. So they wanted to represent that diversity, which is why everything looks so wild.
So weird and different, yeah. see it. Get around to playing it one of these days.
It's funny when I think back about Black and White, because I've always said for ages that, like, I really liked the story in it, but nowadays, now when I think back, I struggle to remember a lot of parts of it, and, like, some of the characters, which is really weird, because it's like, I remember liking the story a lot, but I can't remember the story itself. Maybe that's just because it's been so long.
Yeah. I think it's easier sometimes as well to remember how you feel about something than like the specifics of it in that way.
I think I remember liking it because I sort of thought, I think the one thing that I said to like a few people was like, oh, Pokemon have actually tried to put a story in, whereas up until that point there hadn't really been a story. It had been, go beat your rivals to all the gyms, oh there's a bad team, stop the bad team, go beat the rest of the gyms in the Elite Four, and that was your quote-unquote story, whereas Black and White actually had, like, you know, NPCs that had a little bit more character to them that would appear throughout and actually at some points even like question you, which is, you know, whom do you fight for, you know?
Do you believe in Eorzea?
Sort of thing. And yeah, I think that maybe that's why it stood out to me, but like now looking back at it, I'm like, why can I assume only because it's been so long. When did Black and White come out?
Sense.
And I think I've already said before the epic tale of why the final boss fight was always extremely memorable to me.
Yeah. 11. 10 years ago.
10 years? Yeah, that would probably explain why I can't frickin' remember.
That might do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to be fair, because the Sinnoh remakes are coming out this year, in a matter of months it will be the generation that I have played the least recently. Because I will be replaying Gen 4. Ooh. So that's probably why it's getting hazy. Whereas with Sinnoh, it's like, oh, again, there's not much of a plot, except maybe at the end. And that's very recently in my brain because the remakes have brought it all to the surface. Whereas with Black and White, it's like, they exist.
Yeah, I get that for sure.
I'm sure they'll probably get the remake treatment at some point, give it a few years. Admittedly, people have been saying, oh my god, they're going to remake Sinnoh for literally 7 years?
Yeah, I feel like Pokemon was kind of ahead of the game on the remake train. Because they've been, you know, Alpha Sapphire and that was like way before everything was a remake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, weirdly, I think that the Diamond and Pearl remakes was literally a sort of like, okay, fine, because they're not made by Game Freak. They hired a secondary company to do that. Game Freak have been making Legends Arceus, so it's obvious that that's what they want to do instead. Yeah. So it seems like that was just a, okay, we'll make the remake because you've been asking for so long. So.
Which I feel like is the best case, because like, don't make a secret of this, I'm tired of remakes. I'm excited about the Time Pearl remake, but I'm tired of remakes. I'm tired of every like game studio I like being like, surprise, we're remaking something we made 10 years ago instead of making something new.
Yeah. This thing, I want Legends Arceus to succeed so much because it sets a new precedent for what Pokemon games could be.
100%. And I think I'm pretty confident about that because everyone I know.
Are you okay?
Everything's fine over there?
Hun, are you alright? We literally shut the door so I can't see what's happening. Hello?
A lot of sounds.
Darling? Answer me?
Why do you always panic so much? Panic.
So many crashing noises, even I heard that.
Everybody heard you. What was going on? You shush. You're the one making noise!
I'm going to bed. You need to be quiet now. I'm going to bed. I'm going to go make money for the bed. Sadie!
What is happening?
It's the nighttime routine. Has she had any more food? Probably can't hear me now. Yeah, Legends Arceus is like the game that people have wanted for Pokemon, like literally since they were kids.
Yeah, I see that, yeah.
I can't believe I didn't tell you this. We've had the joy of our new sort of thing that I can't even say series that we watch, basically just a thing we have on while we eat. Because it literally only needs to last sort of like 20 minutes and then that's it. We've opted to put on Merlin because I was on Netflix.
Yes.
I was on Netflix and it was there and it was like, watch this again, and I was like, you know what, I would like to watch this again, so I just put it on.
You know what? Yes, I will.
Yeah, and Spook was there and he was just like, what's this? And I was like, oh my god, you've never seen this. Yes. And now we're watching Merlin.
Merlin is quality.
Now we're watching Merlin.
Oh my god. So good. So good. Yeah. Classic. An absolute classic.
Yeah. We're on episode 3 because we started this week and we get through roughly one a day for meal times. They're a bit longer than...
That's how I watched Merlin the first time. Yeah, it's like every time I'd have dinner I'd watch a episode of Merlin.
Yeah. They're a bit longer than it takes for us to eat dinner, so there were on one of the days we only watched half an episode and watched the other half the next day, but the other 2 days we watched whole episodes.
I'm trying to remember, there's an episode of Merlin that like I've always wanted to like strip it down to its core components and like reuse the like concept of it, because the dynamics of it are chef's kiss. I can't remember which one it is. Might be there. In season 2 or 3 somewhere. It's one of those rare shows that like good from the get-go but gets like crazy better as it goes. It's like it's never bad. Like by the last season you're like, oh.
It's pretty fun at this. Like I never actually finished the final season, so I'm looking forward to actually committing and finishing it, but it is quite funny to rewatch the earlier episodes and also hear Spook's commentary and being just like, you know, Merlin, why are you a prat? And I was just like, yeah, he continues to be...
Because he's a prat.
Because he is a prat. It was like, you know, because everybody's a prat when they're 18 or however old he is, you know.
Yeah, he's a teenager.
It's like, he's not going to get better.
Oh, it is this one. Yes, it's in season 2. It is the 4th episode of season 2. And it's the dynamic of what is happening in the between the characters in that episode is insane. Like, it's just a lot. Like, there's a whole what's happening in the episode, and then there's a lot of like.
Is it? Because I have seen them.
The episode is called Lancelot and Guinevere.
Oh God, that one.
I'll give you the first line of the synopsis. Gwen is mistaken for Morgana. It's that one. There is like what is actually happening on the episode, and then all the characters have like a lot of like camera shots and lots of like little half sentences, and there's a whole other plot happening just in the relationships between the like 4 characters that the episode revolves around, that mostly goes unsaid, and it's incredibly done for just what is a standalone episode. It's one of my faves. Very good. Also, a Guinevere Wrights episode, which of course are my favorite.
We always love
Guinevere and Morgana. I love the most.
Yeah, it is fun seeing the pair of them in these early episodes and just thinking, wow.
We've got a long way to go, huh, girls?
And the fun thing as well is I even said to Spook after the second episode, I paused it and I went, I don't know how much of the original Arthurian legend you actually know, and he just looked at me and he went, actually, basically none of it. And I was like, oh,
fantastic, best position.
I was like, oh, okay, because when you watch this as someone who does know it, knowing all of these people's names,
there's a lot of direct looks to camera.
Yeah, there's a lot of implications knowing that this person is Morgana and this person is Gwen. It's like knowing these names means a lot if you know the myth. As I said, it is like, you know the end, and this is the beginning, so how do we get there?
Yeah. God, I was just scrolling down the episode list and saw a picture of Mordred. Oh. Okay. Can't get into this, but yes, I'm very excited to hear the episode.
I'm super excited.
Episode updates. About layer masks, but I don't know how to answer it.
Yeah. You get layers where if you are just painting, it won't affect things on the layers above them. I mean, if you're painting on a separate layer, it shouldn't affect the things that are on the layer above, like I'm doing right now. And painting colour on layer below the lines so the lines aren't being painted. I'm sure what you mean. That's what layers do. If you paint on a different layer, it doesn't affect the one above it. Also, I said to him right at the start, I said, I'm super excited because also you get to see the actress that I would hire for Delmara. And
Kate
McGrath. Literally the first interaction of Kate McGrath talking to Uther, he was like, yeah.
I love her.
Yeah, and I was like,
anything.
I love her so much. Kate McGrath's so good. It's like, yes, I love her.
Garnet and Guinevere, I'm very homosexual for.
Understandable, have a good day. It's very funny in a couple episodes as well when like Merlin's doing a few things and Arthur's just like, oh, I see what's going on here. You're doing this, and Spook's like, oh, he knows, he's just trying to keep him safe. And I was like, no, he doesn't know.
He's just dumb.
No,
he's just
really, really dumb.
I know we mentioned that Merlin's a prat. I've got to say, one of the things I love about the show Merlin is how British it is in that way that the word prat is used correctly and often.
Yeah.
Did you stop being a prat, Your Highness?
I'm sorry, I didn't. I knew you were a prat, I just didn't know you were a royal one.
Royal prat. Iconic. Anyone in chat has not watched Merlin, you should watch Merlin.
Yeah, watch Merlin. It's on Netflix, it's good.
Again. Peak British TV shows.
One of the best.
I have not watched Merlin. Yes, you would fucking love Merlin.
You would love Merlin so much.
you specifically would really love
Merlin. Oh yeah. It's like we all know the Legend of King Arthur, but imagine them like when they're teenagers and they're just super.
They're shitty.
They're super shitty.
They're shitty and stupid and also it's great. I was gonna say, you will appreciate Arthur in this show.
Yes.
I don't think he's a good Thane comparison, but I think you would just enjoy his character in general.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I wouldn't say it's a good Thane comparison.
A little too arrogant.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's one of those things where people.
He's a lot too arrogant.
Yeah, it's probably one of those things where people maybe associate the visuals the same way that you said people sent you Sam Vimes things, and I was like, no, absolutely not, no.
Now that we've been talking about this, that Merlin the way Merlin is in season 1 is essentially how I'm playing Kid.
Oh my god, that's wonderful. Brilliant.
Like smarmy, a little smarmy, a little like, I know I have power, but I'm gonna be kind of coy about it, obviously for different reasons. But it's good shit. I'm fed up with this warm-up I'm doing, so I'm moving on.
Fair.
I was doing pretty well with it though. That's I think the furthest I've got before I got fed up with doing that one. It's like you get to starting a sentence with the letter Q and you're like, oh. Maybe I won't do this anymore. Oh my god, this folder's getting out of hand. This actually is the music from the zone. It straight up is. That's really funny that this just came on.
Oh dear.
So many blank documents in the bottom of this folder. I'm just gonna delete all these. I'm surprised by how many like there's a decent amount of this. Sorry. It's grooving today. Okay. Missed. I need sad Final Fantasy music. Let's go for like. When am I doing this? What is my instinct telling me to do? Okay, let me think about this. Which one's got the more narrative potential? Like I can actually grasp. Which one? Basically, which one in my brain is just a cool visual, and which one do I think I can actually make the plot out of?
It's probably a good way to think about it.
A fun one to write for both of them, for like emotionally, like getting into like the detail work of it. Emotionally, this is an interesting piece for both of them. I think it's more for Fignia.
I mean, Shakespeare.
This is a.
But I think it probably is.
Yes, it does, but I feel like with Iphignia that would happen no matter which way round it was.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like I only get the emotional impact of the scene, not just the context, if X is Warrior of Light. I feel like X or Warrior of Light is the way to go. Is either way first time Iphignia's dealt with this kind of scene. This kind of situation as a healer. As someone who can do something about it, or is supposed to be able to do something about it. So I feel like that is probably the way round to go. I'm gonna have to look up some NPCs' names really quickly before I start this. Because if this is the way around I'm doing it, there's a couple people that I need to know. I know I literally was like, I need to listen to emotional Final Fantasy music, and the song came on, I was like, no, too much. I went too hard.
No.
It's from a you have not got to yet. Says me regardless. What is her name? Aha, that's you, isn't it? Yes, okay, that's her. The Final Fantasy Gamer Escape wiki thing for NPCs has the breakdown of if they can be made in the character creator, how you would do that.
Wow.
And this also has their entire gear set and what dyes they used.
Jesus. So that's how people are able to cosplay so easily.
Yeah.
Hello. How are you, sweetie? Oh,
Sadie?
hey.
What are you doing, Sadie? I'm quiet on Discord calls recently.
She's been a little unwell.
It's been a little unwell, I know this.
She went to the vet today. She's had 2 shots, which she didn't like very much.
No, I imagine she did not.
And she'd had a blood test, which she liked even less. And this 18-year-old
I can empathise
woman,
with that.
This 18-year-old woman had to be restrained by 3 vets in order to get a sample from her. I'm so proud of her. She had to be restrained by 3 vets to get a sample from her.
That's the Sadie I know and love.
Yes. So you clearly weren't feeling too unwell.
Yeah, you're clearly in fighting shape.
She's had a little bit of food, but she's only eaten it because I have literally scooped it up with my fingers and offered it to her. She doesn't seem interested in eating out of the bowl.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy to keep doing, as long as she's getting food in her. So when I go for break, I will probably take her with me to the kitchen and see if she's interested in any more. And then I will have to leave you during the night, and I hope that if you do feel hungry, you will actually eat without me there. But you've got some food in you now, which is good, because you didn't have that for the last, 3 days.
Holy shit, Das. Going on that, holy fuck. I was muted that whole time, I think.
No, we heard you.
no, I know what song I need to put on. There's like 3 different full animations to the song I have in my head. Like full like animatics on YouTube that if I could animate I would do. All Final Fantasy related. Where is it? There it is. Back I start this. I feel like I want to start it like in it, because otherwise I'm gonna have to do a. Oh, but then I don't get the setup, and the setup is also very satisfying. I'm gonna have to look up how that quest chain goes.
I would start it from sort of where the cinematic starts, really, is kind of where I would start it from.
Yeah, that's my instinct. My instinct is to start it just before... I have 2 instincts. One is to do it, like, in the shit of it, and the other one is to start it just... Like have some breaks in it and start it just before Exa leaves. Mm-hmm. Or I could start it where the cutscene starts just from a different perspective. That would also work.
You could do it with just a break of like.
Could also do that.
Leave, break, and then it's the cutscene.
Yeah.
You don't have to do the whole of they're walking. They walk,
yeah.
walk, 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 walk.
Hide.
Attacked by tweez.
I'm not a third of the way through. Still my favourite part of the TikTok.
It's pretty.
I'm a third of the way.
I'm a third of the way through. Hello, Core. Oh, thank you. Core here with the full health check, and thank you for subbing. Mwah. It's always appreciated.
I don't know why, but I cannot see points being redeemed.
Ducklet is very simple, but also very cute.
It's a very good Ducklet. You still have not posted up more warm-ups, have you?
It's because I keep forgetting. I have the memory.
Set a reminder on your phone right now.
Like a sieve.
Set it. If you're playing D&D tomorrow, I'll remind you then. I remember, which I won't. So maybe set a reminder on your phone. Up. I'm googling this the wrong way.
Ducklet's done, which is good because it's 9 o'clock pretty much. So now I've got the itch to replay Black and White, and I'm like, I really shouldn't because I have a million games that I need to play, and and only one game that I really want to play, which is Final Fantasy. And the amount of time I have to play video games is nil.
Yes, very little. Yeah, for that. Yeah, I feel that. I'm glad that we all sat down and got the 15 event done yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know how long that goes on for.
Which was very fun.
It was fun today. Yeah.
It was very fun, even though I did get ragey at one point.
Yeah. I only needed 2 attempts on both of the fights, which was basically 1 attempt to learn what the heck the mechanics were, and then 1 attempt to actually do it.
I did all of the fights, no issue, apart from the boss, which took me 6 tries.
I got it on the second.
For the same reason. Like, it was the same thing happening over and over again. When I deafen in the Discord channel. It's like, I need to concentrate or I'm gonna yeet my controller out a window.
A Monster Hunter 6. See, that is actually a vastly unhelpful name, because Monster Hunter already has more than 6 games. So Monster Hunter 6 could be their pencil name for Rise. Potentially. 2023? Never mind, because Rise is out next year. It's fitting that this song's come on, because this is the song that's kind of inspired a lot of these thoughts and this conversation. The Future by Mystery Skulls.
Yeah. He had like very different tone. I'm futzing with music.
Monster Hunter, Monster Hunter 2, Monster Hunter Tri, Monster Hunter 4, Monster Hunter World, Monster Hunter Rise. So technically, either World or Rise could be classed as 5. And I think maybe they class Rise as 5, because I think World is a different team. But, because Rise is more recent than World, it could be that there's going to be a World 2. Because obviously World is quite old now at this point, actually. It came out in 2018. Whereas Rise only came out this year.
Still have it, still haven't played it.
Unacceptable!
Playing it on your own is weird. Especially when I don't understand what's going on.
I can fully, that is the one thing of, like, I played it before World came out and I was like, it's fun, but yeah, and then the moment that I got, like, because my first one was Tri and I liked it, and I was like, it was okay. And then I got 4 on the 3DS, went to uni, and other people had it, and then I suddenly had a hunting squad and I was like, oh my god, this game is so good with people. And then World came out and I was just like, friends, get Monster Hunter World! And we all played together and it was wonderful. And one of my favourite gaming experiences.
The making armor part I was fine with, Core. It was the stabbing monster I struggled with.
You just need a teacher, and I am a terrible teacher.
You.
I'm a terrible
I remember most of my time was spent in the box trying to work out which weapon I liked, and I did not. I think I ended up fussing with, swords? Dual daggers? For the 2 swords one?
Yeah, dual blades.
Just because it was, I could button mash a little bit.
Yeah, I'm a button masher.
So I was playing Cozy.
Nice. Core likes the dual blades.
Yeah. I liked the aesthetic. All the ones I liked the aesthetic of, I could not work out how to play.
Yeah, it's annoying that PSN and PC is not cross-play, so I can't play with you, which is the major upsetting thing, because I would love to play Monster Hunter with you.
You see me get thwacked across the room multiple times.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a terrible teacher. Like, it's, you know, teaching Spook the basics of Monster Hunter of, like, here's an Anjanath. Oh wow, giant T-Rex. Any advice? Yeah, don't get hit. What? Smash! I'm like, ooh. He got very angry with me. He was just like, you're such a bad teacher. And I'm like, I've never had to teach anyone. I just read what you said, Das. That it was 100% intentional, and I also love it. It has...
Yes, had to send it to me afterwards because I did not catch it.
Yeah. I sent it to Das as well because I was like, I made a reference and I really like it. It was 100% the scene I had in mind when I did it, so I was like, yes.
Have we streamed since Okar happened?
We have not. So before we dive into this, I think I'm going to go take my toilet break because I do actually need to pee. So I feel like before we start the conversation, I'm going to
probably wise because it will be very you focused.
Yeah, and I'm also going to see if Madam here will be interested in having some more food. So it might be a while because obviously.
It's okay. I took a massive break because a man was drilling into my bathroom ceiling. So
hand feeding her tiny bits of food is slow to try and encourage her to eat.
That's fine.
She's going to complain a lot when I pick her up and take her to the kitchen. Right. I will be back
I'm sorry, I haven't heard of you in a bit.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Oh, chat. Chat. Because Blue is gone, you get to come onto my main screen. I bet. Just for a little bit. You get to be on the big screen. Use your power wisely. So that I don't have to look over there. Over the other side of the world. Hello, Stanju. Hello, hello. I don't have to look over here. I immediately want to change my Spotify music. Very specific kind of tone that I'm looking for at the moment. Where are you? We're getting on with stuff, chat. Yes, Baelsars. You made it all the way to Baelsars? Holy shit, dude. Hold up, we did Zephyros last night. What did you... It's impressive. Speed. Also, fuck the story that happened in between. The story is so good. So much has happened to you since the last time I spoke to you last night. I spoke to you at like 1 o'clock this morning, and at 9 PM now you have made it to the end of post Stormblood. Post Heaven's Ward, I should say. For Stanji, Baelsar's Wall is probably plot-wise in like most people's top 5 dungeons. Like it, Baelsar's is like a hot commodity in terms of people being in that party. So I for sure want him. A bit all over the place, but it was short-lived. Yeah, like there's a lot that happens, but you'll follow. It's wrapping up some of the stuff from Dragon Song, setting some stuff up, and then also has a little like thing of its own. So, oh my god, you went through the best voice line in the game today. Wild. I'll do that all in one day. Everything is going down. I can't tell. The only thing I don't know yet is who will die in the short term and who will live to die later. That is very much the point you're at. There's a lot of build up to this one dungeon, and it's fucking astoundingly good. Also, Walls probably in my top 3, actually. I think. Not like ignoring mechanics, because I tend to enjoy dungeons that have like a combination of good mechanics, good build up, good story. It needs to have a couple things in it for me to really love it. I think it's in my top 3. Yeah. Library in that top 3? Library's only not in that top 3 because it's kind of gentle. Like it's not like plot important dungeon. No, it is main scenario, it's not like plot important. In terms of like places that I love, Google Library's up there. I actually prefer hard mode Google Library to the normal Google Library. It's got some like crazy bosses in it. Yeah, there's a whole different ranking of dungeons based on how likely I am to live in them. Google is top of that list. I don't have things to do to level my rogue for today. Yeah, I feel that. Tribes are always good, but then if your rogue's really baby level, how many? I for sure am muted. Yes, that's pretty good progress, I said. Oh, I was so close to spelling it right. I just put one letter in the wrong place. I was for a second there, Das. I was for a second there. An image, new tab. Got a reference for something, but all the references are very little. Oh my god, is that really what that area is called? I hate everything. Like 5 different references of this place. Ah, I can tell that it's in my muscle memory that I have Google Dragon Age things, because I went to type name of thing DAI instead of Final Fantasy 15. Apologies for being quiet, chat. I'm in the zone, as it were.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hi.
How is the girl?
I successfully gave her a few more mouthfuls of food.
Hey.
Which means today she has had not quite a half pouch, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but to go from nothing for 3 days to half a pouch
a lot, yeah.
is good. But yeah. Again, she kind of seemed like she didn't want to eat it until I sort of scooped it up and like offered it to her on my hand, and then she was like, "Oh, I'll eat it off your hand."
Yeah, I'll eat it if you give it to me.
Yeah. So obviously I'll give her some fresh food when I go to bed, but whether she'll eat it without me actually physically offering it to her, I don't know. We'll just see how much food is left in the morning.
Dongles has bale sauce.
Oh!
Which is astounding considering we did Zevlotol last night. Means he's done all of Post Dragon Song in one day.
You didn't have work today, did you, Stanju? Is that all you have done today? Is play Final Fantasy?
Honestly, valid.
I'm just scrolling back through the chat, looking at what people like. I don't want to know what you said to spur Das to say the phrase, so let's just scroll past that. I'm speed. fuck the story that happened in between, yeah. Ran out of things to do to level my rogue today. What do you mean you ran out of things? There's so much to do. There's loads of things to do for leveling. Well, we were doing...
Hey Blue, quick question.
Oh, yeah, go shoot.
How does Exa feel about heat?
Heat? Probably not her favourite, I guess. I feel like she's the kind of person who doesn't complain about a lot of things, so generally she'll just sort of tolerate it, but I think she prefers cold weather. So heat, probably not as favourable.
Got you. Kind of already writing her that way, and then I was like, I should probably actually ask.
No, you're right. I feel like that was mentioned. Yeah, that was mentioned in
talk about weather a lot.
Yeah, because we talked about like what season was her favourite, and I think I said that she preferred winter because colder. Yeah. Yeah. Not even Fates and Juice. Like we got Palace of the Dead. Palace is great for leveling, isn't it?
Palace is great for leveling.
Palace is great for leveling. Yeah. When we were doing the event quest stuff yesterday, before we did my trial, I figured that the game often, when you do like a story dungeon or a story trial, regardless of where you were, it will teleport you to the entrance when you're done. So I was like, this will probably give me a free teleport to Kagane when we've done this, so I'm gonna I quickly went over to Limsa and picked up Rogue, like you did, Stenji. It's only like level 8 at the moment, so I can't do Dungos yet with it. But I did pick it up. And, like, stabbed.
Got some babies to level.
Yeah. I picked it up and stabbed 3 things, and because I had rested XP, food bonus, and guild bonus, I just immediately leveled up. So stabbed 3 things, level 8. See, Sadie's so silly. She's the only cat I know who willingly goes in her carrier. She's gone back. She's gone back in it now, even though she went to the vets today in the carrier. She's gone back in her carrier. My assumption is that it is the last piece of, well, anything we have that probably has my aunt's scent on it. Because I imagine that everything else in the flat that we brought from hers has been fully permeated with our smell, whereas that has been kept up in the loft away from us. So I imagine it might still have a trace of her old scent.
Box. Dark, cozy box.
Yes, there is that. Because when I finished giving her the food and went and topped up my drink and stuff, I looked around and I was like, she has vanished. Where's this cat gone? She's in none of her beds. And then I realised that she had opened the carrier and gone in.
Oh my god, that's dexterous.
Well, we hadn't locked it, so it was just she just has to hook it with a claw and pull it. We hadn't locked it shut. Chisps.
Crisps. I also have crisp. Back. You know what that means, chat? Going back into your monitor. No more big monitor for you.
Vanished.
Banished back to secondary monitor.
Alright, what am I doing here? Table. I think it's the table. Yeah.
What time?
Back to the table.
What is your problem, Das? Need a distraction.
See, the beautiful thing about digital art is that if you want to do more, you can put it on a new layer. And then if you're not happy with it, you can revert and go back.
Yeah, you can just give it a shot and then if you don't like it, delete it and go back to what you were
So
doing.
if you think like, oh, maybe I need to put some shading on it, you can make a new layer, do shadow, and then it's like, oh, actually I don't like that, you can just get rid of the layer. Dude, how to shade basics is just get a darker colour and put it in the places. As was illustrated when I did it here, if you draw a light source, it will help immensely. Because, you know, before I had these lightning sparks in it, I had a rough idea of where the light was coming from. It was roughly up top, hence why I have, like, the shadows underneath here. And sort of on the underside of the scarf and things. But once I had this lightning in here, that's a very obvious, like, look at the fingers. There's very obvious, like, blue highlight tinting on the top of the fingers, dark shading underneath. Rule number 1, don't shade in black. Rule number 1, don't shade in black. And again, if we just zoom in here, you can see that, like, everything's just darker shades of itself. So, you know, the the red and the shadow of the red is just a slightly darker red. Yeah, we've got the dress here. This is kind of like when you take the colour on its own, that looks quite dark, but then you come in here, and this is a dark shade of blue, but it's also different in a different position on the colour wheel, which adds in the slight contrast. Like this bit here in Mara's hair, you go in, it's like, yes, it's very, very dark, but if you look at its point on the colour square in the bottom corner, it's still not black. And it actually has blue tints because there's a lot of blue in this scene, and obviously blue is kind of Mara's colour, so there's a lot of blue hints in things. So, you know, Mara's hair is brown on the reddish spectrum, yet you go into the shadow, and the shadow is on the blue spectrum. The highlights is slap bang in the middle. It's kind of greyish, but it's in the purple spectrum. So, yeah, that's something that I sat down and like spent a lot of time trying to learn about, is colour theory and how colour works and shading and things. So never use black. If you want to practice it, do a sphere. You know, you've seen me do warm-up spheres before. We could do one now, and you could practice. Make a new layer. Just pick a random like pen brush. We'll go for like we'll just go with grey. Go with grey. Turn the background off. Make a big old size so it's a big old circle, and just click so we have a circle. Then we're going to turn on the opacity lock so we can't colour outside the lines, and then just pick a brush that you want to practice with. You can either go for hard or soft. Try them all out, see what you like, and then just going from white down to, in this instance, black. Obviously I've just said don't shade with black, but we're working in grayscale. And just put the blacks on the bottom and put the white on the top. And then you can play around with brushes and textures and sizes. The opacity lock is in Clip Studio Paint is over on this side. If I turn it off and then it's over here in layer settings. It looks like a checkerboard, and it has a little lock next to it. It's next to the big lock, which is just lock the entire layer. Lock the entire layer, that means you can't draw on it by accident, you can't move it by accident, it stops it from being interacted with. Opacity lock stops you colouring anything that isn't already coloured. So if I relock this, because I just unlocked it to draw that arrow, I can draw red on this sphere and I won't go outside where it's coloured, but I can also put red on these lines. So opacity lock, great for colouring, because you can just flat everything in a flat colour, lock it, and then colour it appropriately. That's how I do a lot of my colouring. So yeah, just pick a brush that you are content with. Again, I've gone with like a softer brush here that blends the colours together, but you can go for a hard brush. So you could just have grey, and then you can just have a sharp white, and then you can have a black underneath. Yeah, there's loads of different ways you can do it, but yeah, if you have a mid-tone, I think the mid-tone is generally a decent place to start from, because then you can go up and you can go down. So in this instance, we've just got a middle grey, and then we've got black at the bottom and white at the top, because in this instance the light would be coming from top. Again, if it helps, then literally draw a little thing to say, this is where the light is coming from. Because we can just as easily rub that out and say, oh, you know what? No, it's a fancy scene. The light is coming up from the bottom. The light's coming from that way. In which case, we just go, okay, we flip them around. If the light's coming from the bottom, then we have the white here at the bottom, and we have the black down here. And depending on what look you want, you can mess around with how far you want. Like if you want a sharp, you know, anime cartoony look, then they tend to have sharp shadows. Sometimes you have soft shadows. In this painting, I've got a mixture of hard and soft because of the different textures. It's mostly soft on this one. It's mostly soft, but you know, you've got soft shading here, but then you've got the sharp light there. So it can vary. And if you're using a hard brush, you can also just come in and you can use a blender to blend instead if you prefer. And kind of let the computer sort of do half the work for you. That's one of the benefits of digital art. And then, you know, you've got a sphere. Shut up, Core! This is me condensing a lot of stuff that I've learnt over the course of a very long time into a few minutes. Because then there's things like, oh, you know, there's such a thing as reflected light, so there'll be like a tiny little hint of grey around the edge and things like that. But that's your like crash course from Blue in some very rapid shading. So again, if we were to switch it over to colour, let's go with blue. Shock and horror. We go with a mid-tone blue. Let's slap colour on this. So let's say in this, if we're going to do a bit of colour with this. So because I've drawn a red circle here, we'll say that there's a little bit of red light interacting with this blue sphere. So obviously we all know that if you have red and blue together, it's going to be purple. So to apply a red light to this, it's going to be tints of purple. And again, using blenders and stuff can really help with all this. So we want to go up in the light with hints of purple in it. We can choose to put some red in if we want. Oh yeah, see, Frog immediately knows more about colour theory than me. I chose a bad example. Let me open up. No, not this one. Let me open up.
While you're explaining colour theory, I'm going to take my beer back.
Yeah. Let me open
I won't take a super long BRB because obviously I took a long one earlier. We're back.
I chose a bad example. Let me find a file. Where's it gone? Let's take this picture for example. So, picture of blue here, but we can see immediately just from kind of looking. As Frog has kind of said, blue here is a very, well, funnily enough, is a very pale blue. So if I just quickly put this white, you can see here that blue is actually kind of greyish and quite desaturated. For blue, blue is known for being quite vibrant. In this picture, she's actually quite desaturated because the light source in this picture is quite orange and red from the sunset. So when I take these bits of light here from the edge where the sun is catching it, you can see again it's actually quite desaturated. That's what the colour actually is. Look how close that colour is to that colour. That's the same colour. I've just taken that from there. Give or take. Immediately prove myself wrong. But you get what I'm saying. Colour is relative, things like that. I come into the wing here, and again, it's like, what colour's this? Oh, it's kind of it's brown. Blue doesn't have brown wings. She has white wings, but because of the light of the scene and like Blue's own body in comparison, it changes how you see it. Blue has white wings. There is no white here. This is a cream. This lightest bit here is a cream, and it just goes down and down into shades of brown. But because it's against an orange background and a blue at the top, your brain makes you think that it's white because it's of light and stuff. Again, I'm trying to cram like months and years of learning into a few minutes. I've probably gone a bit complicated now at this point. But Frog knows even better than me. Anyway, let's get rid of that. But yeah. As with everything, practice, and you'll gradually get better. That's all you can do. You'll never know if you don't try. Go on a new layer, give it a go. I'm also snacking. I was gonna add something, but I'll add it when you get back. Yeah, you're a lot better at illustrating it than me. See, I'm not a good teacher. Excuse me a minute, chat. I'm gonna go see where Sadie went. And since nobody's here, I'm gonna briefly run a 30-second ad, so I apologise. It's very brief. I told you it would be. Yeah, Sadie's good. She's gone in her warm bed, which she hasn't touched in several months because it's been too warm. But I saw she was sniffing at it earlier, so I've turned it on to let it heat up, and she's actually gone and sat in it now, so that's good. I'm hoping that might relax maybe a few muscles if she's kind of, you know, after fighting among 3 vets today, she might be a little bit achy, so I'm hoping maybe that'll help. Maybe Core, maybe. I don't have any of the Lake Trio at the moment. I wonder if they'll be in Raid Hour tomorrow. Because I don't have any. Okay. I know they're in raids, but are they going to be Raid Hour? Because, like, last week I thought Raid Hour was going to be Zamazenta, and it was freaking Lugia. They only did a Zacian Raid Hour, they didn't do a Zamazenta Raid Hour. Which confused me, because I was like, why would you do one and not do the other? Yeah, that's my question. I don't know what this week's Raid Hour is. Maybe one of the many Pokemon Go Discords I'm in actually know, because I'm in several. I don't check them. I don't check them anymore. Does this person have anything?
I'm back.
Hello. That's information from July. That's outdated. Oh my god, this infographic is wonderful. Someone's made a Pokemon Go infographic for, like, the current event, but it's been done in Paint. It's so good. It's in Paint and Comic Sans. It says, How to Lake Trio. That's so funny. These names! I'm gonna have to put this on the screen so you can see it. These are brilliant. How to Lake Trio. Freaking Arceus in the top corner. Y'all okay?
Oh, it's one of these.
I know. They all have confusion and extrasensory future science Swift. All counters are better as shadows. Time for a lot of info that all says they suck. You see, people
thought it'd be good at PvP, they were wrong.
not good at anything, sad face, and then just still a bad Mewtwo. But the best part is going to be down here, where they tell you what Pokemon you should use to fight them, such as, don't avoid this one. Apparently not as cool as Dusknoir. Doodling around.
Oh my god.
Danger Noodle.
I fucking love that Darkrai drawing, it's so funny.
Sono Hat joined Les Resistance. Just happy to be here. Mr. Bitey.
Malake Guardian.
Malake. That's gonna be
God.
me. That's gonna be me when Diamond and Pearl gets released because I want a Honchkrow.
Oh god.
Steel but glass. Hashtag Rain Gang and boost your bros buddies.
I'm astounded by the quality of that Houndoom compared to everything else.
I love all of this. This is the first time I've seen something like this because every infographic I've ever seen has always been quite professional. And it's had like all the proper thing. I think this is literally because they don't like the Lake Trio. Not as cool as Dustnoir. He knows what he did. Tag yourself, I'm Mr. Bison. We all know which one Curls is.
What? What do you mean?
I'm saying that you have a type.
I want to know what you think the answer to. I want to know what you're implying.
I know which Pokemon is your favourite.
Oh yeah, he's my fave. Yeah.
For me, I guess I'm just happy to be here.
I know this about you.
The Murder Bird, which is also me. Because Pokemon were like, what if we made a Pokemon that was the embodiment of death? And everyone was just kind of okay with that.
Because we also got Friend Deer.
The Friend Deer. Because
everyone was like, oh, Friend Deer. Let's avoid the embodiment of death.
I think everybody really likes the Friend Deer. And thus forgets about the...
Is it Xerneas?
Xerneas, yeah.
Yes. I resisted saying its name for a really long time then because the only name my brain would provide beginning with an X was Centralis. I was like, I know it's not that, so I'm not gonna vocalize it.
Xerneas and Yveltal.
Yveltal, I remember.
Yes, because you had Y. Okay, let's close that.
No, I had X.
Oh, did you? I thought you had Y.
X.
Wild. And yet you still didn't remember Xerneas.
Do you know why? It's because I remember the movie really vividly.
Oh.
And Yveltal is like big thing in that movie.
Well, yeah, it's the freaking villain because freaking
death.
It's the embodiment of death, and it's
Xerneas is just like in the anime sometimes. Just shows up to like have a good dramatic pan of like the deer thing where they look up and then run off.
I mean, Pokemon Snap spoilers if anybody cares. Yeah, I know, but Xerneas is in Snap. And that's like
yeah, it's one of the most beautiful Pokemon.
Yeah, that's like the big reveal at the end. Like in the original Pokemon Snap, the reveal of the end was like, oh, it's Mew because it was Generation 1. So in new Pokemon Snap, the big reveal when you beat the story is it's Xerneas, and it's so pretty. And I have some really cute pictures of a Xerneas with a sleeping Umbreon. It's so cute.
Very cute.
You lost some of your lines? How did that happen?
Is.
I can see my Discord wants to install an update. There is, I mean, if you haven't done anything, there is you can undo and undo, but you can't have done anything. There's undo and there's redo, which is go forward and go back, but you can't redo if you've done something. Right. It is nearly 10. I finished Ducklet at 9, and yet I think I have done literally nothing on this picture. To be fair, I spent like probably 15 minutes.
I was gonna say, you took a bit of a detour.
I was tending to my sick cat.
If it makes you feel better, I think I've rejigged this first paragraph by 85 times. Since net theory, progress not been made.
Since in theory we have maybe an hour left, should we talk about things?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I'll be flat out. I don't know what there is to say because we all know what happened.
We do, but we're streaming on the internet. Yeah. Anyone could be watching this.
True. I mean,
I had a boss fight in Oakart this week.
Yes, that's just the start of it.
It was fun watching you guys try and prepare for that session, and versus what actually the situation was.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time preparing for it.
God, It was the session of many cool visuals. It was a boss fight of cool visuals.
Yeah. Look, honestly, that's all you need from a boss fight.
Yeah.
I opened up this table, the folder for the table, and then I remembered that there's like freaking 500 layers making up this table, and I was like, oh no, this is not
It's a
good.
mess that you put away for later, and now is later.
Now is later, and I'm not happy. Has this layer even got anything on it? I feel like it doesn't. I can't see any changes when I turn it on and off. I feel like this layer doesn't have anything on it.
For that, I'll go into a Discord channel in this session. Oh damn.
Nice.
It's very good.
You weren't the only one who thought about drawing that, but I have a drawing I'm currently working on, so...
Any good Tala drawings happening right now?
Well, I don't know, a lot of people seem to be thinking about it for some reason, can't imagine why.
Cause she's fucking dead.
Not dead. I'm still at like 46 health.
It's how we cope.
It's how we cope, yeah. It's just coping mechanism. Right.
PLR chat. I got petrified by
Yeah.
Medusa.
Yeah, I'm petrified. Petrification, D&D. I need to group these into a subfolder.
Can timeout Stanji if you want, but I will untimeout Stanji because I am also a mod. No abusing mod powers, please.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm allowed to do that.
Let's try and organise some of these layers. Again, no progress is being made on this picture because now I'm organising layers.
Layer organization, yeah.
Look, I did not roll any death saves, and I still have health. Ergo, by the rules of D&D, not dead.
But not dead.
Not dead. It's pretty simple, actually.
But it is fun to meme that she's dead, from a DM perspective.
It's just a meme. But it's
It's just a
fine
meme.
because I get to just laugh at how we stopped your plan. Which isn't a meme, it's just facts.
That's the thing, again. This is how I am coping with how...
So, you know, swings
You
around
guys
about.
played very smart. Very smart.
It was so fun to hear you say twice in the session, just under your breath, "Fuck, that's smart." It was so funny for it to happen twice.
It was out both times. Several things happened in the session. A lot of smart plays happened. Also, I think I rolled more nat ones than anyone I have ever seen in a single... Barring, like, Will Wheaton.
That's true. That's true.
I don't think I have ever seen more ones rolled, and they were all me.
It was actually ridiculous.
I think I think it's like, I was gonna count at one point, I still might. I think it's in the, bearing in mind I do most of my rolls in real life, I think in Roll20 it's in the like double digits 20s. And that's like a quarter of my rolls for the night. First time was Tala in the blood. Oh, the fucking blood curse. Fucking. Still angry. Die mad about that.
See, this is
I'll
my
make it
revenge.
so my big bad isn't physically there. She's just water and blood.
Blood, you say?
Fucking blood hunters.
Oh, that's gonna be like one of my best plays probably of the campaign.
But yeah.
Because I think I literally roleplayed it like she kind of realised it the same time I did it. Because I was like, you know, she's standing there, she's watching it like a hawk, and then just sees these droplets go up, and then it just clicks. Of like,
I was so ready for you to get so frustrated at the fact that there was nothing you could do as a non-spellcaster to this woman.
Oh, she was pissed. Don't get me wrong, Tala was absolutely pissed that there was nothing
but
she
then
could
you
do.
progressed, finding not just a way to affect her, but a way to affect her that fucked my entire plan. Like, critically. To the point where I was like, what do I do if this doesn't happen? I actually don't know. It's like, okay. She just has to roll like a really, like, it was like a 5 or higher on a check, but I just was like, I'll roll it every round as like a, you know, kind of courtesy to the rest of you. I'm like, no, she's restrained, she can't cast spells.
No.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, Daz, if she hadn't been restrained in that first round, she probably would have dispelled it the first round. We would have had that battle for the... Because I was thinking of, like, I was like, this might end up being like a game of keep away, essentially, with this giant dragon scale. Other thing I'm going to be die mad about. It's also you and Zal. At 20 survival check. Fuck me.
Yep. Give me the forbidden knowledge.
Have it. You have the. You are encased in stone with that forbidden knowledge. You got what you wanted.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll give you the forbidden knowledge, but you have to be stone now.
Monkey's paw.
You can tell no one. Fine, just gotta get you to someone who can cast Greater Restoration.
Oh, because they're so common.
Yeah.
Because they're freaking everywhere, you know?
No. Sure, it isn't like a long way to get to any of them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you do know some people.
Yeah, I know we know people who do. I'm mostly joking.
No, but you're also correct. It is how you're gonna to those people is a different conversation. Oh, I've just seen that the wiki also has runtime for several cutscenes sections. I could have probably done with looking that up a couple times. You guys, not for me. One failed strength check away from being concrete. The Medusa one is con. And
yeah,
this is the
ironically,
thing.
If it was strength, I probably would have done better.
Yeah, I could meme all day about Tala getting turned to stone, but my big bad also got turned to stone, so... My Medusa got turned to stone. One of the coolest plays I've ever seen that has been in preparation since February.
You can always rely on Kay.
Kay.
You can always rely on Kay.
Kay deciding to play a summoner for an entire battle of just between an animate object and a familiar. Being like, I'll do nothing this combat. I'm just gonna stand here and not get hit because I have Sanctuary cast on me. I'm also gonna just like run 3 other things.
So that's why you play Summoner in Final Fantasy, was practicing.
Yeah. that's what I said. It's like all your summoner hours are being roasted by other DPS for sucking. Finally pay off. Oh yeah, that's true. Cool. Failed strength check away from being concrete. I'm talking about when they move her. Yeah.
I'm glad that we have an artificer as a friend. Because repair spells.
Mending. A different conversation. Theory. Yeah, there's so many components to that plan working. The roll on the D100 table that got the command to grovel, the tiny error being in the right place. Crazy. it was an insane session. It was a session I was very worried about running, but worked out astoundingly well. That is a debate core. I think the official word on the books is no. But I don't. I respect that the council has made a decision. Ooh, no thank you song. I haven't been able to find like a song that's the right vibe for the scene I'm writing here.
I was gonna say, it will be really funny because all of the cool shit that, like, literally everybody did, Tala didn't see.
No.
So she's just like...
Literal god showing
yeah, so
up.
there's any of the cool stuff, any of the cool stuff, she's just gonna be like, yeah, sure. Whatever.
Yeah.
Big sister vibes will never think that anything you do is cool. Ever.
Yeah. And if she does, she is sure as shit not gonna say it.
Peek my head out the door and see if Stadia is still on her bed. Just to see how she's doing. Yeah, she's still on her bed. Remember what I told you? Yes, and then I chose to ignore it.
change the canon for something I didn't consider thinking about. Thinking about why things happened in the Free Company canon versus in Iphignia's canon. It's just like, oh, right, yeah, I only have an answer for this in Iphignia's canon. For swap. I told you about the glamours. It's like, oh, well, but that wouldn't have to happen. Why did it happen in the Free Company canon versus the practical answer for this, which is just heat. Sheer chance that you've almost hummed along to what I'm listening to, even though I know what I'm listening to is not what you're listening to. I was like, huh? Go for the silence chat. I'm in the zone.
New Revenant Elite Specialization Vindicator. That sounds cool as hell.
Said so many words that I don't have any meaning for.
Guild Wars 2 stuff.
Ah. Say it again now that I know the context.
New Revenant Elite Specialization, the Vindicator.
Oh, okay.
That's the second one? What was the first one?
I don't know about because it was a DLC or not.
Yeah, this is the second new thing that's been revealed for the next expansion. I was like, what was the first one? There it is. I was scrolling for ages just to find, like, the name of, like, if that's the second one, what was the first one? Scrolling for ages to find it. Called the Virtuoso.
Oh damn, that's a different tone.
And looking at it, I'm already just like, that's either a new rogue type, or that's a new Mesmer type. And I think it's Mesmer because of the colour.
I was gonna say, it sounds like Mesmer.
I think it's Mesmer because of because the icon is different, because each specialisation has its own icon, so I can't tell from the icon, but the colour is purple. I'm pretty sure that's Mesmer's colour.
Yes, it is.
So that's a new Mesmer specialisation. Yeah, Virtuoso Mesmer. Oh my god, it looks like Sage. They have floating knives.
Wait, the two new ones look like Sage and what?
What was the other one? What did I say the other one was?
Avenger or whatever it was?
Vindicator. Which was a Revenant one. Here's the I know I know we don't do Guild Wars right now. I mean, I still pay attention to it because I still like it. But the video is very much your aesthetic, I think, because it looks like the Soul Knife from D&D.
Damn.
Or the Phantom Blade or whatever.
We'll look at that later.
It's very pretty.
Finished, I think.
Look at it! Yeah!
Laptop's having a fit.
The babies!
Holy shit.
Hell yeah. Heck yeah. We love to see it. God, they look so good.
That'd be very cool.
So pretty.
Ready for
Excuse me. Everything you wanted.
welcome to the way I pronounce names versus how they're actually spelled. This was oh, so close. It's because I say Rahaban. Rahaban. Is that how you actually say it?
It's like Rahaban is very close to being. That's very close to being a Monster Hunter monster, which is Radaban. Or Radaban.
I just put an extra H in it. I think that might be how Jesse says it, which is where I've picked it up from. once again asking these two characters to not make me really syrupy.
Refuse. Absolutely not.
I got caught up in the syrup. I'm trying to get to the angst, but I got caught in. I'm lost in the sauce.
You're so cute together. That's how we got in this mess.
Yeah.
Look, you know yourself. It's about the proper build-up.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You gotta have.
I have to do all of this
you
fucking
gotta do
setup.
that, otherwise it doesn't hit as hard.
Doesn't hit right. I'm trying to get. Oh god, I have to talk about this so vaguely. We had a really long conversation after the stream last week, which we should not have had, potentially. We finished that last week.
We both went to bed around midnight, which is a success.
About the feeling of confidence at this point in the story. I'm trying to build some of that. That kind of there is no problem so big that I cannot throw myself at it and it will go away.
Yeah. It's alright, I'm the Asuja Raccoon. Maybe.
It's also interesting because I was trying to work out, because I think we've agreed that these two in the FC canon together probably beginning or mid Heaven's Ward, right?
I think
like,
so.
Or at least by the end of Heaven's Ward, they're like an established thing.
I think so, yeah.
So like, where it would be at this point, like the level of comfort they would be at, it's very fun to write. So some of Iffy's, say bad habits have become very obvious very early in this.
But Exa is always very brazen with like everything.
It's almost hard writing dialogue this brash. Just being like, I'm not worried.
No. That's you know that's this is what we talked about last week. Like this is why it hit us so hard, because everything up until now has been not fine, but she's been able to deal with it. Right, that little bit needs to go, I think. You, be gone. There's no place for you here.
What?
I'm talking to a tablecloth.
Ah. Understandable, carry on.
There we go, much better.
I discovered I don't have enough, like, syrupy music in my, like, songs on Spotify. Too many sad songs. Or at least, like, songs about sad things. Dark things. I've noticed, do you use Spotify on mobile a lot?
Yes.
My phone on me. Do you see on the liked songs now you can, like, filter it by tags?
I didn't, no.
Oh, I don't know if it's just the update I have. My, like, it changes depending on what, like, the most is. So for a long time it was, like, musicals was my, like, easiest tag to filter for. It is now just dark.
Oh no.
I think Halsey's new album is to blame for this.
Hey
Halsey's new album is to blame for a great many things. No. Which is a problem, because I mostly use that function for want to listen to happy stuff for a change, or like chill things for a change. And it's like all my top tags are not that. But I'm using the tags because I can't find the light stuff.
This is why I have playlists that are literally called Blues Chill Out Playlist and Upbeat Crew.
The thing is with me, when I want beat music, like there's a lot of subtypes of that for me. There's like, I want chill music that's indie, I want chill music that's got a beat to it, or I want songs that are like, I guess I kind of do have playlists that I use for this. I kind of use my cottagecore playlist for kind of more indie. If I want like pure upbeat, I've got my summer playlist, which is all like really upbeat pop music. I also have my fuckboy songs playlist, which is all fuckboy music, but it's all pretty upbeat. I kind of do have that stuff, but I'm very picky about tone. I think I do need to do like a purge though of my playlists and be like, what do I go to you for that you're then not suited for? Then what like bigger genre playlist do I need to make then? Do I need to make like a easy evening kind of playlist, you know?
Yeah.
Because I use these 3 and they're not quite right, you know? Because that both is me getting rid of playlists and gives me an excuse to make more playlists, which is all I ever want to do. One of my few... I was going to say talents, but I don't think that's true. It's one of my few joys, meaningless joys, things that matter to only me.
Aww. That's not true. We like your playlists.
Serotonin. I'm concerned that Das said, guys, a serious question, and then hasn't posted anything for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I had
yes.
clocked that. Doing okay, bud? Everything okay, pal?
Just realised, Blue. I pointed this out to Das like a week ago, but you can make collaborative playlists on Spotify now.
Pretty sure that's been in there for a while.
It has been, but because they used to be collaborative, but just meant anyone could put songs on them. Now you can have specific collaborations. I'm just saying. You can also, I've been meaning to do this with Oz, but I keep forgetting. There's also a thing you can do now. It's designed for, like, you know the Spotify subscription that just has 2 accounts on it? They've made it for anyone now, where you can make a playlist that is like the commonality between you and one other person, your music taste. And we need to. If I can find the setting on my phone, I will send you an invite.
Yes.
I can only find it on my phone for some reason. The version of Spotify on my phone is like way more to date than my one on my browser. I think the bigger thing there, Das, is the idea of making mistakes. There isn't. Like, my initial gut response is to say no, but also, like, there's no such thing.
Yeah, I can't even think to, like, what instance you could possibly be referring to that you could even consider to be being
there isn't like a...
I can't think of anything that even remotely sticks out, because it was all good.
Yeah. Also, like, don't even know what a mistake would be. Like, I can't even... What is a mistake in D&D?
Yeah.
That doesn't exist.
Maybe going to solo a Medusa would fall under a mistake, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, it can be, but anything can fuck up in D&D, but that doesn't mean it was always a mistake.
The problem is, it's not even that. It's like, it's not that there are no bad ideas, there's just bad rolls. They're not the same thing.
Honestly, I can't remember, but whether you did or didn't, don't think Tala would know what that meant anyway, to be honest. But I think you did. I just don't think Tala knew what it meant, because it's not based on anything prior.
Yeah.
Like, that was Kay's panic.
Yeah. And besides, because of the mindset she was in, Tala was kind of in the, she was in the mindset to ignore people, because that was what she did. Like, Zal did shout at her, and so did Thane, and she was still just like, no, I'm gonna ignore you two and do what I want to do. Because that was 100% what she was in the frame of mind to do right now.
know what we said about setup. I can tell I've made this setup good because I'm already sad about what I'm about to write.
You're sad at knowing what
I'm
happens
sad
next.
writing the setup. Trying to work out how this conversation would go. Trying to work out which way round this would happen. I'm trying to work out if Fignia would want to go with Exa, and Exa's like, don't worry about it, or if Fignia would want be like, you've got this, I'll stay. Because they need me more here. Because from Fignia's perspective, she always wants to go where she's needed, and she does worry. Sounding this out now, she does worry, obviously. But in this instance, there's no like obvious like you are gonna be in danger and this place will be fine. It's like whole premise of this is that they need her here. I'm trying to think. Okay, I think I had how it would resolve. Would also what Exa would want. It's a CPU question. This is a CU question, but I don't know how to word it. Like, I can understand from a Fignia's perspective, she probably insists on doing on a lot of things because she's worried. Like, is Exa chill with? Would she want Iffy to go with her, or would it be a case of I don't mind what you do?
I think.
Oh, how attached? I guess is the question.
Yeah, there. I think she.
It's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
And obviously, it's situation to situation, but I'm trying to work out in general. Like.
Yeah. In general, I think obviously she likes being with her because there is that sort of. I mean, I know that Exa isn't a tank, but it is kind of the tanky mindset of like of being protective, and it's like, well, if you're there,
it's the same for Iffy, and she's a healer.
Yeah,
so.
if you're there, if you're there, I can see you and look after you. But then there's also the thing of like, well, if you stay back, you're away from danger, so you're safe. But I think she does also understand that because she is a healer and her personality of like what she wants to do. I think maybe it might be a case of Exa knows that Iffy is torn, so maybe sort of just makes the decision for her of just like
I can see that happening.
Like,
for sure.
That I'm literally just like, I'll make this choice for you. You stay here, and I'll be back.
And I'll be fine.
Yeah. I'll be back in an hour or so. I'm with a team. I'll be good.
It's different in like really obvious like, dungeons because the thing is like no, fuck no, I am going whether you want me to or not. But that's true of all the FC.
Yeah, that's why they're
And
a free
all the
company.
scions. It's like, no one go anywhere without me. I am concerned. I will. I know I can heal you. But this specific situation is a little bit more. Actually, that makes sense with how I've set this up. Maybe I subliminally knew which way this was going. Cool. That's his fucking name. My brain was like, this is this character's name. I'm like, no, I know that's a character from Dimension 20. That's not what this character's called. My brain's like, no, it's this name. I'm like, no, that's Evan Count. Like, that's not...
Count.
Still haven't watched that. I've been rewatching Fantasy High all day. Just like, not like, I'm in that stage of like post hyperfixation where both Unsleeping City and Fantasy High I like blitz through. So now I'm just watching bits of it that I like. I'm just like randomly watching bits of episodes. Whereas like, I should really watch the rest of the 7 and Crown of Candy while I have the sub. But I'm just like, no, I just want to watch these things over and over again. I've seen that one before, go.
We've seen that before.
Popular go D&D go around that one.
Of like, lol, this is funny because in the rules it says you can do it.
D&D rules.
In the rules it says you can do it, and that's where DMs go, rules as intended, not rules as written.
Yeah.
health check from court.
Yeah, I'm not seeing point redemption. Oh, there's one.
Wild. Drop my pin.
Any mind-blowing Final Fantasy questions for the end of the stream? Not that I can think of. I'm gonna show one. Very concentrating on what I've been doing.
We both have.
Shit, it's nearly 11. Jesus.
I know, right? We're gonna be finishing soon, really. Be time to wrap up. Sorry.
Good.
Yeah,
Wrap up now if you want.
Big ol' yawn. There's 5 minutes left. Push to 11.
It's the principle of the thing.
It is. It 100% is. A little bit of tablecloth added in. nice embroidery so that you can then destroy it.
Exactly, you get it.
Freaking rip it to pieces. Feels like an age ago when I was just like, I ruined your tablecloth.
Doesn't it? But it was the same in-game day.
God, that causes psychic damage.
Actually, who was like, Tyler's had the worst fucking day, and I was like, oh yeah, that's literally been day.
It's been a day. Wow.
It's been more than a day in terms of time, but you have been awake for one day. I've done another long day. Another flirting with points of exhaustion kind of day.
Right, yeah. Whenever she gets out, I've already been thinking like she's gonna be thinking about things.
Yeah. Also, on a lighter note, completely screwed your sleeping schedule because you at like 2 p.m, if I recall, then came down here.
It started with you left her alone, and let's be honest, it went downhill from there. it's 11, so I guess it's time to wrap up.
Yeah. Right.
The main addition to today's painting was that scrap of cloth under Tala's hand.
It's amazing what takes time, isn't it?
Looks good though, I'm happy with it.
Does look fucking good. Gonna zoom all the way out so you can see the whole thing in all its majesty.
It's still got the stream time thing on it.
That Control O. Whatever the clip paint equivalent is.
I'm trying all the hotkeys that I know for full screen and they're not working, so I'm like, I don't even know, I don't even know what the print...
I think Photoshop is Control 0, but... Look at that. Damn. Coming together. Right. That's us.
Everybody.
Do we have D&D tomorrow?
I don't know. I think we do.
Check in the channel
Yeah.
before we say anything definitive.
I know that we're a bit too busy for Okart this week.
Yes, we have Black Princess this week.
Cool.
6 upvotes on the thing.
Excuse
Because
me.
everyone. I think it's actually everyone.
Might be.
Right. Indeed tomorrow.
Indeed.
See you then.
We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Love you loads. Bye-bye.
Bye.